The Artemis moon mission has been delayed yet again. Some are saying that NASA just can't get it together. But what's really going on? In this video, we'll take a look at the first two launch attempts and see what might be causing delays. We'll also discuss what the Artemis mission is and its long-term goals. So hop on and let's get started. There are a lot of people who've been waiting for the Artemis 1 moon mission to take off. Unfortunately, it seems like it's taking forever for it to get started. Some people are beginning to wonder if it will ever happen. There are several reasons why the Artemis 1 moon mission has been delayed. One of the biggest problems is money. The project is expensive, and there have been some setbacks in fundraising. Another issue is that the project is very complex. There are a lot of different moving parts, and it's been challenging to get everything to work together. Finally, there's been some political opposition to the project. Some people believe that it's a waste of money, and they don't want to see it go ahead. Despite the challenges, the Artemis 1 moon mission is still critical. It will be a major step forward for humanity, and it will help us to learn more about our place in the universe. Hopefully, the project will finally get off the ground soon. On August 29, 2022, the first attempt was made to launch the Artemis 1 moon mission. However, the launch was canceled due to a faulty reading on a redundant sensor. There are several possible reasons. First, there may have been an issue with the sensor itself. Second, there may have been an issue with the data that was being collected by the sensor. Third, there may have been an issue with the way the data was being processed. And fourth, there may have been an issue with how the launch was coordinated. Each of these possible issues could have contributed to the delay in launching, ultimately resulting in NASA pushing back the date to September 3, 2022. Exactly 5 days later, everything was again all set for launch. But during the final seconds of the countdown, a new problem cropped up. One of the 4 engines powering the rocket's first stage began leaking fuel. This was a serious setback for the Artemis 1 mission, as it was now facing an indefinite delay. NASA quickly aborted the mission and began repairing the fuel leak and planned for a third attempt. After fixing the fuel leak, NASA hinted that they were going to launch the spacecraft later that month on September 19, 2022. The Artemis mission is NASA's plan to return humans to the moon and establish a sustainable presence there. The first phase of the mission, Artemis 1, is an uncrewed test flight of the Orion spacecraft and the SLS, known as the Space Launch System rocket, that is scheduled to launch in late 2022. The second phase, Artemis 2, will be a crewed flight of Orion and is currently scheduled for 2024. The ultimate goal of the Artemis mission is to land humans on the moon in 2024. Artemis was the twin sister of Apollo and the Greek goddess of the moon. She was also associated with wild animals, hunting, and nature. The Artemis mission is inspired by this Greek goddess and her connection to the moon. The main goals of the Artemis mission are to return humans to the moon and establish a sustainable presence there. This would be accomplished by developing new technologies and capabilities that would allow us to live and work on the lunar surface. The Artemis mission is an important step in our journey to Mars and other destinations beyond low Earth orbit. We need to learn about how to live and work in another world before we can venture out into the solar system. The Artemis mission will help us do just that. The Orion spacecraft is being built by Lockheed Martin, and it's based on the design of the Apollo capsule that took humans to the moon in the 1960s and 1970s. However, Orion is much larger than Apollo, and it has many new features that make it ideal for deep space exploration. For example, Orion has more radiation protection than any other spacecraft, and it's designed to be reusable. Artemis will launch on the Space Launch System SLS, which is built by Boeing. The SLS is the most powerful rocket ever built, and it will be capable of taking Orion to the moon and beyond. Artemis will also use a new type of fuel that is more environmentally friendly than the ones used in Apollo. The Artemis 1 mission is scheduled to launch soon, and it will take Orion around the moon and back. After Artemis 1, NASA plans to launch a series of increasingly complex missions, culminating in a crewed mission to the moon in 2024 and Mars in the 2030s. The Artemis mission is important because it's the first step in NASA's plan to send humans to Mars. The Moon is a perfect place to test the technology and equipment that will be needed for a Mars mission, as well as to learn more about the planet itself. Additionally, the Artemis mission will help to establish a permanent human presence on the Moon, which could eventually lead to mining operations or other commercial activities. Finally, the data and experience gained from the Artemis mission will be invaluable in future missions to deep space destinations like Mars or Jupiter's moons. The third attempt to launch Artemis 1 was planned on September 19th after the first two attempts failed, but it was also postponed due to Hurricane Ian. This was the third time the launch had been postponed, and many were wondering why it keeps getting pushed back. Some say that the hurricane is to blame, while others believe that there are larger issues at play. The first postponement happened due to a problem with a faulty redundant sensor. Then, just a few days later, another problem was discovered with the fuel tank. Now, Hurricane Ian has threatened the launch site and forced yet another delay. Critics of the mission say that it's plagued by problems and wonder if it will actually get off the ground. Supporters claim that these delays are simply part of the process and that the mission will be a success. Only time will tell if the Artemis 1 moon mission will finally take flight or if it will continue to be delayed. Either way, it's sure to be an exciting journey and one that we will all be watching closely. As of now, the new launch date for Artemis 1 is the 14th of November in 2022. This has been decided by NASA in light of the recent delays to the mission. The primary goal of Artemis 1 is to send an uncrewed spacecraft to orbit around the Moon and back. However, due to the many delays, this has yet to be achieved. Despite these setbacks, NASA remains hopeful that they'll be able to get the mission off the ground and achieve their goals. With a new launch date set, it seems that NASA is ready to move forward with its plans. Hopefully, everything will go according to plan and we'll finally see a successful launch of Artemis 1. It seems that delays are plaguing the Artemis 1 mission, but NASA is remaining hopeful that the launch will be a success. But the question still remains, with all of the delays, will Artemis 1 ever actually take flight? Supporters claim that these delays are simply part of the process and that the mission will be a success. Only time will tell if the Artemis 1 moon mission will finally take flight or if it will continue to be delayed. Either way, it's sure to be an exciting journey and one that we will all be watching closely. With a new launch date set for November 2022, it seems that preparations are underway to finally get the mission off the ground. Let's hope that the Artemis 1 moon mission will be a success and open the way for us to explore new horizons in the future.